You're just being quiet because I'm being weird.
No. I'm a little concerned. I am letting you have your moment.
The intro is me doing monkey noises while holding up the SM-23 with Lightning McQueen on top.
Welcome back, Boxenstopp Pod. It's been a while.
Boxenstopp. It's been a while. How are you?
A little catch up.
Yeah, we're gonna catch up between us. Fuck the 2 races that we missed. We're gonna catch up between us.
It's been about 4 days since we saw each other.
Yeah, so we're gonna speed run it. Ready? Race 1 that we missed, we were both packing to go on vacation. Race 2 that we missed, we were on vacation. We filmed half an hour in front of the Cars Hotel in Walt Disney World, Florida.
We did.
Just for it to delete. And we gave
I hope you guys know it was
we're on vacation. We're on vacation.
It was a good episode too. And we did have plans. No, we did have plans to do it again. We kept saying, like, we're going to film tonight. We're going to film tonight. And then we would get home. I don't think you understand. We're like, yeah, we'll film in bed. And then we would get in bed. And we would turn on a movie. And it was lights out for both of us. So, yeah, it was... Not much happened in Suzuka. Yuki Tsunoda, Red Bull debut.
That was great. I love him. I wish him the best, always.
It was so fun. I love him. He's been out-qualifying Liam Lawson, except for one race, but he still finished ahead of him, so I don't want to hear it.
One race.
It was one qualifying session, and Yuki still finished above. That's okay.
It was, that's true.
What race did we watch in... Oh!
Bahrain.
Yeah.
We watched Bahrain together. I would like to say, we watched the race in Toy Story Land. We were chilling in Andy's backyard. We have video footage. We're chilling in Andy's backyard. We got our grilled cheese.
Oh, so good.
Our adult beverage that I think about hourly. Yeah. The hot man who served it to me.
I did not see him. So
hot. When we have the race on, at some point, we did stop watching because we were like, we're in Walt Disney World. Why are we standing at this trash can?
We didn't miss much. After we ate, we had some clarity. We had some clarity.
We did. What happened that race? Hold on, I have the notes. We can talk about that one.
Yeah,
I have notes.
Yeah.
For that one.
Can you send me the notes?
Oh, Chuck had a mid-start is how that one opens.
Yeah, he did. I do remember that. Sadly. Oh, Lando false start.
Yes! Yeah. The
Lando false start
is good. Oh, yes. Wait. Max, the most important part of Bahrain. Max the snitch Verstappen. The love of my life. I love when he snitches. There's video footage, which is now old news because we're a race behind. But we have notes for this one. I took notes and I want to put my notes to use.
We're gonna just speed run these notes. Guys, we're just gonna speed run them.
So Max turns, Lando's out of his box, hits the radio button 15 times.
This was him the whole time. It was him the whole time. Lando, when I say Lando wasn't just like a little bit over his grid box, I'm talking his whole front axles were out of that grid box.
Yeah. His whole front was out of that box.
It was so funny.
It's crazy. Well, another Max's snitch Verstappen. Sainz was trying to overtake, and then we just get Max's radio going. Mm-hmm. He didn't leave a car's lane. And I was like, wow, Diva is in a mood today. Diva was in a mood.
Diva's over it today.
Diva was in a mood. Diva being in a mood continued into this week. And I don't blame him, but that's a conversation when we get into this week.
Red Bull.
Norris went
Red
to 14th
no
when
grip.
he had to do. It's so annoying.
What? Oh, so annoying.
Sorry,
so annoying.
It's so annoying.
It's so annoying. Sorry, it was so funny. That he was so. Dude, Charles is on one too. Albon, Max, and Charles are like on it.
It's gonna become a vocal stim.
Last couple
it's
races.
So annoying. It's gonna become a vocal
so
stim.
Annoying.
I can't even.
Brian. Well, we can't fix it now.
We can't fix it now. We have everything is overheating, so the Red Bull's still a tractor.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had the first Dune is fighting Max Verstappen. Dune is fighting Max Verstappen was a crazy sentence, and that was the moment we're like, okay, we're in Disney World, so we're gonna go do something else, and we'll check back in a second.
We got a Nico DSQ for the same thing Lewis got his DSQ for.
God forbid a man shits himself, you know.
The skid marks. Sorry. Bear points.
George,
got bear points.
No, before bear points, because I would like to celebrate bear points. That was very good. The George DRS infringement, which I need to read word for word what I wrote in these notes.
So let's give context. George was being investigated during the race for pushing his DRS button in a non-DRS zone, right? Like, this is a big thing. Big no-no.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Huge. 2018 F2 winner, George Russell knows better. And so what happened was, he was having radio issues, and they have a manual button, and they made the push-to-talk button also the push-to-DRS button. So when he pushed the push-to-talk button to communicate that he was having a radio error, he pushed to DRS instead.
Yeah, manual DRS, by the way, because the cars do know when they're in a DRS zone and when they can reach DRS. So this is their manual DRS in case that is not working. This is their backup DRS.
Yeah, so I need whoever decided that on the wheel to decide something else. On the wheel, maybe? And he didn't get any penalty because he didn't gain anything from it. But I just think the idea that you can accidentally DRS when you are trying to, like, communicate that you're having an error with your team to be so funny. More importantly, bear points! Ollie Behrman Masterclass, P20 to P10. It's 1 point.
Ollie Behrman Masterclass.
And I'll celebrate it every time. I feel like that got overshadowed by a lot of things, though.
That's what got you canceled, though, is that 1 point position.
That 1 point. I got canceled.
Stella got canceled this week.
I do think Bear Points got overshadowed by a lot. Bear Points got overshadowed by a lot. To go P20 to P10 is crazy work. And I think more people need to think about that more.
Yeah.
Granted, he was a Ferrari Academy driver, so are we really surprised? No. My brave assumption is Ferrari is setting him up in the same way they set up Charles Leclerc. And they're having
guess what? He's not going to replace Charles.
Of moving to Ferrari. He's not going to replace Charles, but they're setting him
up
at Haas to have him move to Ferrari. So, okay.
I agree with you, but let's just not put that out into the universe because I got canceled for that. I got canceled for my Charles Leclerc takes, so that's okay. That's all right. You know, it's okay. Which I'm not going to say my Charles Leclerc takes on here. If you're a real one, you know.
It's fine. I do think what he's doing very interesting, and it doesn't mean anything, and everyone was overreacting, but that's besides the point.
I don't have a gospel this week. I had a gospel last week.
We had a gospel. But...
And I don't know what the gospel was supposed to be, and I am too lazy to find a gospel today.
I think that's okay because I'm sick, so this actually has to go as fast as possible.
Let's talk Bahrain.
Yep. Nope.
No, because we just talked Bahrain.
We just talked about
Holy,
Saudi Arabia. Can
you tell? We're tired. Saudi Arabia. Okay, first of all,
We have a new championship leader.
Okay, but before we get into the race,
me getting canceled?
No. We can talk about that later.
I got canceled.
I actually want to post this clip on TikTok because I think it deserves. And I haven't even started talking yet, but I think this is a good clip. Let's talk about the parasocialness that we need to stop having. Race fans in general. Okay. So,
this has to do with me getting
Alexandra. No, Alexandra. Well, that too, but Alexandra showed up to Saudi Arabia wearing traditional wear, like a traditional,
people were upset.
I wouldn't call it a coat. Oh, baby girl.
Any of this,
You're not on Charles Leclerc. You're not on Charles Leclerc timeline, and I am.
No.
So, Alex showed up wearing a very traditional outfit, right, where a big part in their culture is not wearing like revealing clothing, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this
as you would if you were visiting any of these, like if you're visiting like Dubai, too, like
as you would, like, respecting other cultures, right?
Yeah.
Well, this certain account on Instagram posted it, and a whole bunch of people were saying she was, one, culture appropriating, and trying to cancel her for that. And also, like, the amount of talk about Charles and Alex's relationship. Okay, let's remind everyone.
That one's crazy. Those two, and Lando.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. Okay. In that
Let's just remind everyone. The drivers owe you nothing. Okay? Well, yeah. These are real people. In real relationships with people. These are not just some, like, fictional thing. These are real people. Okay? Your words hurt. And, I think we need to just stop. I think we need to take a full step back.
Yeah.
And realize...
Full stop. Step back.
None of this has to do with us. I love you, Alex. Alex, if you somehow see this, I love you.
That's crazy.
She's on TikTok.
That's true. She is.
She's a TikTok user.
She's very pretty. That's my only observation is, wow, that's a really pretty woman. Moving on now.
She's beautiful. Yeah, moving on now. Oh, it's Alex.
Oh, wow.
The art curator, because she's more than just Charles Leclerc's girlfriend. Yeah. Like... Well, crazy how this works, right?
Well, that one's a little difficult.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Because that is how she's known. So I'm going to look at her and go, oh, Alex, Charles Leclerc's girlfriend, pretty woman, moving on. Like, you have to dig, you have to dig deep to find out she's an art curator and does a whole bunch of other things, and that's also parasocial. But, like, also you can accept it. Like, if there's nothing... I would like to say there's nothing wrong with accepting it at face value. No. That's Alex. That's Alexander St. Merlot, Charles Leclerc's girlfriend, and you're going, okay, moving on.
Yeah, but what we're not going to do is hate on either of them.
In my head, I can't lie, what really helps, and it's definitely the fact that for one, and it does change your mindset a lot when you're the same age as the people that you were, like, looking at, 100%. Watching.
100%.
So I'm right smack in the middle of everyone in that grid. Pretty much. Lando, that man's 28 days older than me. Crazy. These are just some guys. Like, in my head.
Literally.
They're not on a pedestal in any way, and I think that's the difference. A lot of it, like, that's just some dude who, like... Yeah. Knows how to drive a car really well, and that's all he exists as in my head.
Yeah,
you know, like, even I can't lie, sometimes and like, don't get me wrong, Charles Leclerc is a very beautiful man, but sometimes I'll look at him and I'll just go, wow, that's just some dude. Like, that's all he's just some guy.
Yep.
And I'm like,
and we must remember
if I saw him in an airport, I'd probably think about him for the rest of the day, but I would move on, and that's the mindset you have to have. Even as a fan, like, if I saw him in the airport, I would think about us literally seeing Ollie Berman in an airport. Man, that's crazy. Moving on now. I gotta catch my flight.
Literally. me when I stared down Fred Vasseur, and I'm like, holy shit, that's the man that changed my life.
And Brian. We look at Brian.
And literally, watching them talk, I was like...
There's Brian.
And then I was like, okay, gotta hop on my Southwest flight. Gotta hop on my Southwest.
Oh man, look, it's Brian and Fred. That's so cool. Where are we eating? It's literally how the conversation went.
And I want everyone to remember this. Like, it goes for every celebrity.
In the background of us having chicken, we're like hearing these guys from Aston Martin being like, yeah, and then his helmet for like Fernando's helmet. We're like, anyway, this is some really good chicken.
And then I'm on TikTok, like, guys, it's the same thing. And how I would equate this for me is like when I see Josh Allen on the timeline, and I'm like, oh, Josh Allen,
that's just some guy.
Next, like, come on, guys.
That is literally just some guy.
And yes, do we enjoy F1? Are we fans of F1 and F1 drivers? Yes.
Would we be?
But I think we also need to remember the amount of romanticization of wag culture is crazy. It's crazy.
It's so interesting, and also, like, I don't know, because I as someone who has a running bit about calling one of these drivers my wife, like, I feel like on the outside, if you're looking at my Twitter account, if you're looking at me on this podcast, you're like, wow, she'd probably lose her fucking mind meeting Daniel Ricciardo. Would I? No, I'd look him up and down and go, damn, bro, you're balding.
Literally, like, this is not, like, we need to take a step back, you guys.
Just some guy.
I also just want to say...
Okay, I should clarify. I wouldn't actually say that. That's, like, really mean to say.
No, that's really mean.
And it's an awful example. I need to clarify really quick. But I'd have a normal conversation. The thing is, I'd have a normal conversation.
I just want you guys to know, like, these people are real, and they are dating, and are... The same goes for Kelly Pickett. People saying she's faking her pregnancy. Girl, huh?
That's crazy. That is genuinely
and people genuinely
crazy
like
work.
Believe it. And I'm like,
or
guys,
like I've seen people be like, it's not his baby, and I'm like, why do you care if it is? Like,
we have lost the plot.
Why do you care so much if it is his baby? He's happy. I don't think he really cares if it's his or not.
No. like, guys, like, we have lost the plot so bad. Or, like, people were saying rude things about Kimmy's girlfriend, saying that, like, she looks like his mom.
Yeah,
and I'm like...
That one was crazy, because she's his age.
She's beautiful. And she's beautiful.
She looks...
And she brought...
And, like...
I just can't with you guys.
I can't say I understand. But she does look older than him, but also she still looks his age. He just looks 12. I think what we need here is he looks 12. He's the one who looks significant. Yeah, she doesn't look older. He looks 12. Like, that's a 12-year-old boy.
And with that, like, being a fangirl is fine. Like, I get it. I understand. I've been there. I've done that. I understand. We still do that.
A majority of my life.
I still be on my Stucky. Okay?
Sorry, that's a crazy.
She Captain America on my Stucky, okay?
Please don't.
I get it.
No.
I understand. But guys, we cannot be sending hate to these girlfriends because you're jealous of them. That's insane.
And that's not just a problem here. Like, I remember when Five Sauce first started getting girlfriends, or like One Direction. Oh.
It war for them. War for them girls. War. All these wags are fighting a war. And they shouldn't be. Yeah. Anyways, back to the race. Rest in peace, Pierre's car.
Things, which is
rest in peace, Pierre's car.
I love the fact that in the interview afterwards, they're both like, yeah, the other guy could have done more, but refused to blame each other.
They're so adorable. Love them. Love them so dearly.
Rest in peace to both of their cars.
I love that Yuki just tried to keep driving. I love that he did drive in the pits. I thought he was going to try and finish the race. I really did. I was like, you got this, baby girl.
I guess the pit stop counter, like, just counts when they go into the pit.
Yeah.
So, like, throughout the race, as they're showing the pit stop counter, Yuki, lap 1 DNF Sonoda, had, like, a 1 next to his name, and I was like, that's not correct.
That's not.
But, like, it is.
With that, qualifying Lando Norris into the wall. Really glad he's okay, guys. Really glad he qualified P10. Really happy he is okay. But at the same time, we also had the Yuki and PR DNF. So that was crazy.
We did.
Which was a lot scarier, in my personal opinion.
There's something I was gonna say about... Oh, I saw, and don't get me wrong, obviously, exists. I saw a lot, and this is why I said that Bear Points kind of got overshadowed, because I saw a lot of people be like, P10 to P4 is still so good. Motherfucker, last week some guy got from P20 to P10. What do you mean? Like, that will always be more impressive than qualifying in the top 10 and then staying in the top 10.
Yeah, you're
I'm
correct.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Correct. No, you're right.
But,
no, you're right. And
like,
good for
like
Lando.
Said,
hey, good for Lando.
Like, good for
Lando.
Him. He did very well. Ollie
also,
Behrman week prior went from P20 to P10.
They don't care.
That's
because
10 places.
They don't care because he's a backfield team, babe. They don't care. They don't care.
But the crazy part is they eat him up. They eat him as a driver up, but refuse to admit that him doing that in a Haas is so fucking impressive.
Yeah, because everyone hates Haas. And everyone hates SD Bestie for no reason. We can get into that another day. They're mean to Haas. What we are going to talk about, though, is Lando Norris falling for Lewis Hamilton's tricks twice in a row. Yup! It made me giggle. Twice. It made me giggle. Did he fall for it
just from Lewis Hamilton, or did Kimmy also?
No, just Lewis. No, Kimmy was having a rough time. I don't know if I sent you that. Post-race Kimmy definitely had heat stroke.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
And it made me sad.
And I feel really
What's up with the Mercedes? What's up with the Mercedes being a fucking microwave for their drivers?
Yeah, why is it a microwave? Also,
it is so hot for their drivers.
Speaking of Mercedes, I saw a post of someone being like, George Russell does nothing and gets motherfucker, that's the F2 champion of 2018. He knows what he's doing. He and Hamilton just didn't mesh well. And I think we saw a lot of unfortunate backfire from that in terms of Russell's performance. And now that they're separated and he's with a teammate that he gets along with, is doing significantly better with, can kind of mold to fit his style, it really helps him. He moves in silence, and I think more people should be worried about him.
Yeah, Sebastian Vettel loves George Russell, if you guys didn't know. Sebastian Vettel absolutely adores George Russell, talks about him all the time. And I do want to say that the Mercedes is significantly faster than it was last year, so don't be putting it all in Hamilton. But I do agree they did.
I wasn't.
I took it that way.
You like to put words in my mouth.
I did not mean it like that. No, I didn't mean it like that. You just, George and Lewis got along. I just think that Toto was more worried about his driver next year than he was his current drivers last year.
They got along, but they didn't mesh well.
No.
There's difference. No. George Russell moves in silence. Everyone should be worried. We have a new leader.
Oh, Oscar. Good for Oscar, by the way.
Good for Oscar.
Okay, Oscar Piastri. Oscar Piastri also moves in silence. Oscar Piastri also moves in silence, and people should be afraid.
But the thing is, people are afraid. I think now people are afraid, because he has won 3 out of 5 races.
Yeah, and they still won't give him his flowers, though. They still won't give him his flowers. They still won't, because he's not his teammate, sadly. I'm working half capacity. Like, literally my brain, half my brain doesn't want to work at the moment. Like, I can't remember what happened during this race, and it was yesterday morning.
I also don't remember what happened during this race, so we're doing great.
I'm going off memory. I'm looking at the timing sheets, and I'm like, what happened again?
Well, I'm gonna be honest, not much happened. We had the turn 1 incident that, actually, what happened after the race more than it did during.
Oh, true.
So we had the turn 1 incident, which resulted in Max Verstappen getting the two of them, both of them left track, but Max quote unquote gained. And God, I hate Christian Horner, but he printed out a picture of Max ahead of Oscar.
I printed it out. I have it printed out. I have it printed out. Sorry, I have it printed out.
Genuinely,
what in the total wolf?
Christian Horner. I hate Christian Horner, but he's literally showing people. It's like, Max was ahead. Like, he has it printed on a sheet of paper in full color, mind you.
I printed it out.
That's fucking expensive. And all I can think of is, fix your fucking car.
Okay, no, can we actually talk about? Okay, wait. Okay, I need someone who works in F1 who watches this. Probably nobody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do they travel with a color printer?
I feel like they have to.
Or is it in the is it at the track already?
No.
Like, does every track have it, or do they literally take a full-size printer every weekend? Like, I must know.
Well, you have to keep in mind they have to set up their garage and hospitality. So I'm thinking most of the time their hospitality, like it's part of their tractors that come with them, are the colored printers. Because I feel like granted, they have a lot. We're going so in depth.
How much do they spend on printer ink? And also, what printer do they use? Can someone tell me what printer that is? Because I need to get one for work. I need a new one. So please let me know what color printer everyone's buying. Or is it like a Walmart? Like, do they go to the Staples? Like, is there an intern that does this? Like, I need to know, if they run out of ink.
Ordering it.
Like, are they ordering from ODP Business? Are they ordering it, like, Office Depot Business? Do they have an Office Depot account?
Like,
who does the
School
invoicing?
Smart,
Let me know, because I invoice also. So please let me know what your invoicing looks like, because I'd really love to know.
What I was gonna say, though, about the printer, I feel like there are probably still a lot of, like, pit crew, like, engineers that like to have these things, like, physically in front of them so that they can mark it up. Be like,
right.
Here's what we need. And there's probably a whole bunch of data that has to be in different colors for different things.
Yeah.
I hate the fact that we just had a 5-minute conversation about the printer.
Dude, I must know. That girl that's on TikTok, the girl that's on TikTok that's a content creator for the NASCAR and Indy drivers, do you know? Yeah. Is it the same thing? Can someone tell me? But Max did get a 5-second penalty, and he was very pissed off about it.
The race started, Max got a 5-second penalty. I will never not find GP fighting for his life against Max Verstappen to be the funniest thing ever. You got a 5-second penalty. Oh, that's just fucking lovely. No comment, Max, no comment.
Max, please no comment. Max, no commentary, please.
Max, no
please
comment.
No commentary.
Max, please no comment.
I love the GP was like, so Max, you have received a 5-second penalty for you were not ahead at the apex. And then Max goes, oh, how fucking lovely. And then GP, please no commentary. Please no commentary. Max, no commentary is needed. No commentary is needed.
Or the other one where he I don't remember what, he got like a penalty for something else, and he was like, they said they weren't gonna they said they weren't gonna count that in briefing.
No, so he got 2 points for track limits. And GP was you just got noted for 2 points for track limits, and then Max was like, they said in the driver briefing
that they were gonna count that.
Noted. Thank you, Max.
I love when...
Noted.
No, if I can meet anyone, genuinely, if I could meet anyone
GP.
on this current grid, it would be GP. But like, not recording privately. I need to have a face-to-face conversation.
And I feel the same way about Brian.
Let it out. Oh yeah.
The difference between
whoever Alex's race engineer, I need to know.
GP. The difference between Brian and GP is so funny because GP is fighting for his life and does not hit that button unless he really has to. And Brian, every 5 seconds, is, "Great job on the exit of turn 12, Charles. Let's speed it up." And it's so funny. It's like, okay, praise king, like, period. And then after
I see you. I get it. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian. I love you. I love them. I love them so much.
The real goal of this podcast: have drivers on the podcast. No. Have their race engineers on the podcast. That's where we're getting the real dirt. GP. I want to interview you. Who cares about Max Verstappen?
Did Max Verstappen make GP bald? Or was he bald prior? Did the stress hit him or what? I must know. Anyone that knows, please let me know.
Speaking of, we're probably going to see a lot of rumors. Yeah, speaking of Baldy, we're probably going to see a lot of rumors surrounding Max leaving as we get closer to summer. If this car does not get its shit together. Because, obviously, Bono stayed at Mercedes. So what I believe GP is technically employed by Max. So I'm excited to see what happens there. Who knows if he's going to leave. You know? But I don't know if Max could deal with anyone else in his ear.
And with that, I saw the rumor that Max is gonna leave driving altogether in 2026. See how the regs work, and then come back. But I don't think if he were to leave, he would come back.
I don't think he would come back.
Because you know what happens? You know what happens to world champions that leave and then come back? They turn out to be like Fernando Alonso, and it's sad to watch. And it's sad.
It is a little sad to watch. That man.
It's like Kimi Räikkönen. Kimi Räikkönen, the same thing. So do I. But it's sad. Give him a good car. But it's also been 15 years. Like, it's like, what do you do?
But here's the thing.
Like, what do you do?
I know that at Aston, like, I don't think Newey is working on their current car. And he's only working on the 2026 car. So long as Lance wants to keep him around, I need everyone to know we actually don't hate Lance here, but I will continue to make jokes about his dad owning the team. Like, they're just right there. They're right in front of me, and I'm going to take it. I'm sorry.
Okay, what I will say, though...
But I don't hate Lance.
Aston Martin is trying to kill Fernando Alonso.
I think so.
And if you don't know what I'm talking about, his whole steering wheel kept popping off during the race.
Oh my god,
like
that was
fully detaching. Yeah, and then he came into the garage and he kept yanking it off and putting it back on and yanking it off and was like, "Guys, look! Like, believe me. Like, I'm not crazy."
He's like, okay, Grandpa, as you tuck him into bed.
Literally. He's like that grandpa that, you know the meme of the old guy that ate the...
Oh, the paint?
The paint, because he thought it was yogurt? Yeah, paint grandpa. That's Fernando.
We also, as we said, don't hate Fernando.
No, I literally love them both. It's just so funny. It's just such a funny concept, them two. They're a concept of a driver. They're like a concept of a team, and I love that. Like, they're a team. It's just like a concept.
But honestly, but the thing is, at the same time, like, Lance Stroll has been keeping it in the points consistently, man.
Except for this last race, but that's okay. But he was top 10. He has scored
keeping
points
it in the points
top
consistently.
Yeah. The past races, couple races, he's been in the points, which is crazy. Good for him.
Like, I don't know.
Good for him.
I do think it's what has been interesting. Lance Stroll specifically is watching the world kind of, like, change it up on him.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was like, man, I hate Lance Stroll. And I was like, okay, like, I understand where you're coming from. I don't. I understand where you're coming from, though. And now that he, like, people have, like, kind of realized that he, shows up, does his job, and fucks right off. God, they all love him now, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
He's just like me, honestly. Lance Stroll is just like me. I can't wait. I hope we run into him at a random Tim Hortons in Canada.
Dude, I hope so too. I hope I just get to tell him, like, hey, like, I'm jealous of
honestly,
you.
if I could, if I could meet one driver, it would be Lance Stroll, and it would just be like, I wish your dad was my dad.
Yeah, because to love your son enough to buy him a whole team so he can achieve his dream, that's a real father right there.
Yeah, that is
that's a rich
real father. I also think about Chloe Stroll a lot, married to a snowboarder, has a baby. She too.
I didn't know she was a singer.
And she fucks right off. Yeah, she shows up, she sings her song, she fucks right off. And I would love to have a conversation with the entire, like, just sit down dinner
Stroll
with
family?
The entire Stroll family.
Yeah, real. No, me too. Because I know I'd be fed good. I know it'd be good ass food too.
No, that
good
like,
ass
between
food.
That and then, like, the conversation you would observe as, like, a poor person being like,
yeah,
wow, you're, like, not thinking. It's like when in Victorious, like, they would be Robbie ordering an entire bowl of caviar and not think a single thing of it. And you're like, damn, that's crazy.
Accidentally just ordered a whole bowl of these really good eggs. And now I'm sick. And it cost $8,000. My bad.
We're doing so good at talking about the race.
One other thing I want to talk about that happened this race, of course, we finally got a Ferrari podium.
We did. Which is why I was making monkey noises while holding the SF-23.
Yeah, because we finally did it, guys. and no
then
no
the Pope
hate
died.
to. And on the third day, he is risen, and Charles Leclerc gets the podium, and then on the fourth day, he dies. So
I think this is like such an out of pocket, like you probably need to be on drugs conversation to start right now.
Oh God, please don't.
The amount, no, I'm just gonna say it and then we can promptly move on. The amount of religious parallels to Charles Leclerc as a person is baffling.
I think that's part of the reason why I, like, picked him up.
I need to be on acid and I need to have this exact conversation. Don't do drugs, kids.
No, don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
I cannot believe that he did that. And also Hamilton, okay. And I will say, like, this is no hate to Lewis. He is just, you guys have to remember, he drove for Mercedes for so long. He just can't find the balance in the car. Charles has been with Ferrari. He knows how their cars are built. Lewis does not. So give him some time. Okay? He's still in the points. He's still doing his thing. He still got it. Don't judge.
He was with Mercedes for a very long time. He is also a 7-time world champion and should be able to pick up on this car by now.
Sam, you can cut this. I don't want to get attacked for this, but I agree with you. And I think it just shows that he's not adaptable, but we're not going to talk about it. He's not adaptable. I'm sorry. They already changed the steering wheel for him. He's in a different setup than Charles. Come on, guy. Like, come on. Like, this should not be hard for you. Out of all drivers, this should not be hard for you.
This should honestly be the easiest for you.
And what happened for the sprint? What happened since the sprint? Like, how do you win the sprint and you can't even fucking put it in, you can't even put it in the top 5, bro?
You can't hold off Lando Norris?
He did such a good job trying, and I was like, he still got it.
Granted.
And then he finishes P7, P8 every race, and I'm like,
I think I would understand it a little better if it was kind of like a Max situation where Mercedes was all he ever knew. You know, like
no,
I would understand it. I would understand if it was like Max switching teams, and by this point he hasn't gotten it, but he's been with McLaren, he's been with Mercedes, he's been working with Ferrari, and they're making changes for him, and they're just not sticking the way that they should.
I don't know if we want to keep this in. We can keep this in. I just don't want us to die from the LH cold.
We might die from it. But it would be different if we were straight up hating on him. No. And calling him awful and terrible, which is what is not what we're sure. No. Be perceived that way, because fans tend to get very defensive very quickly, especially because I sit here and sometimes praise Max Verstappen, which I get it. I understand. Long-lived beef. Weird. Sitting in the same call. But I am also not a real Max fan. I like watching him suffer. I would love for him to switch teams actually to watch him suffer, but
I think it's hard for me because I get how difficult it can be. I get it, right? I have the concept to where it might be difficult to go from a team for this long to a new team. But I don't think he has, I don't know if it's a mental thing for him where he is struggling mentally, where he doesn't believe that he can drive the car and he is regretting his decision. Seeing the Mercedes
I was gonna say it very well could in part be that, because listen, when a rookie takes your seat and is outperforming you, that's gotta suck mentally.
Yeah. 100%.
100%. Especially when you left that team to join. Not that Mercedes isn't an iconic F1 team, but he left for Ferrari. When you leave this team you've been with for so long, for one of the most, if not the most iconic F1 teams, to then be outperformed by the rookie who took your spot, that has to suck.
And with that, I will say last year's car and the year before that, Ferrari was doing significantly better than they are this year. The Ferrari is not great.
At the start of the year, the Ferrari did have its downfall as the year went on. As most of the cars did. The only car that didn't have a downfall as the year went on was the McLaren. So I'm really hoping we're getting an Uno reverse this year, but I fucking doubt it.
And I will say, yes, is the Ferrari, great? No. This is the first time we've seen Charles on the podium, and it's been George Russell, Max Verstappen, Oscar, Orlando. They are the fourth fastest team. That is okay. But it's very hard for me to get behind the, oh, it's the car, it's the car, it's the car. To a certain point, it is no longer the car. And that goes for McLaren, too. Because I hate the underdog gimmick, too. That car is the fastest. I'm sorry.
Yes, it is.
McLaren, you have a rocket ship. You have a rocket ship. Oscar Piastri has proved that.
We're not saying it's just, and again, we're not, it's one of those things. We're not saying it's just the car. Obviously, those drivers are still good at what they do. Oscar Piastri, that man is a legend in my eyes for what he's doing.
Oscar Piastri went wheel to wheel for Max Verstappen for a long time, longer than I thought he would do. Longer than I thought he would do it. And he went wheel to wheel with Max Verstappen and did not back down.
No. Welcome back, 2016 to 2018 Red Bull. Do you think Max had more flashbacks as he's fighting an Australian for the place?
Yeah, do you think Mark Webber was getting flashbacks?
Oh, yeah. The Red Bull? Yeah. So there were multiple people having more flashbacks and Oscar's behind the car. I love the zoom in on his eyes, because he always looks like he has a smile on his face because his cheeks are just pumped up so much. So that's what I picture every time.
I am also so tired of the
Sainz out qualifies Lewis Hamilton. Sainz out.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I'm tired of it. I'm tired. I'm so tired.
I also think people are forgetting that the massive, what a lot of like sponsorships can do a lot of the time, because I think people are also forgetting Lewis Hamilton funded his own move. Like,
yeah.
Lewis Hamilton is sponsored by Lewis Hamilton in his move to Ferrari, like plus 44, like all of it. Yeah. Whatever his like non-alcoholic tequila brand is.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah. The Broncos, like.
Yeah, literally, like, come on, guys. I also am so tired of everyone downplaying Alex Albon and comparing him to Sainz and being like, look at what Williams did. Look at what Sainz did. No. Put some respect on Alex Albon.
I'm gonna say something brave. And our friend Kat and I had a very in-depth conversation about this. I think part of the reason we are getting such a sassy version of Alex Albon is because, and I think it could be, granted, I don't work for Williams, I don't know. I think, like, within the team itself, a lot of Alex's hard work is being equated to Sainz joining the team. And it feels like Williams is such an interesting entity to watch, because they always, and like obviously every team is going to have their number one, number two driver. Like Mercedes, George Russell, Kimi Antonelli. Ferrari is kind of difficult right now, but at this point I would argue Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton. But that's just because of how they're doing. Like Ferrari is more than likely going to fluctuate. Like, Red Bull, it's always Max Verstappen, who the fuck his teammate is. Arguably, McLaren, Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri. Like, but they never make it as clear as Williams will. You know?
Yes. You're correct.
Like, Williams, right. You can look at them and you go, that's the favorite. So last year, you know, Alex Albon, Logan Sargent, which unfortunately, rightfully so.
And then it went Franco Colapinto.
But then it went
Alex
Franco
Albon.
Colapinto, Alex Albon, and we watched that happen live. and I will not let anyone forget that when Sainz was underperforming, there was I think a Spanish media outlet that was like, he's using different pieces. Like, that's why he's doing so bad. He's doing different, to the point where James Vowles had to publicly say that they had the exact same car. And I will not let people forget that.
No. Alex Albon, I love you.
And, like, I get it. You're gonna ride or die for your driver. I personally am not. I like when they suffer. I'll still ride or die. I'll still be happy for him. I love watching him suffer. Max, when he was on the podium and just straight up drank the champagne, I love him like that. It's so entertaining for me, and I watch to be entertained. But at some point, you do have to recognize that there is a possibility that the other driver on that team is not being treated properly. Mm-hmm. And I think we're getting sassy Albon because Albon just doesn't care anymore. Like,
I think that also goes for, like, your driver struggling. Like, I did criticize Lewis Hamilton, like, literally 5 minutes ago. Like, and I will continue to, I could do the same for Charles. Like,
oh, yeah.
I think Charles has been doing great putting that car in P4. He's been consistent. Like, he's been getting consistent results. But if Charles were qualifying any lower than probably P8, I would be saying, why is my driver washed?
What is happening? Yeah, why is my driver washed?
Yeah. Like, is this an adaptability thing, or what is this? And I think we need to be real about our drivers, just like Lando Norris and Max Verstappen.
Yeah, I saw, like, when Lawson was getting switched, I saw a lot of people being like, oh, like, But 2 races isn't enough you don't have time. I feel like a lot of people also forget in this sport, you have 24 races. You don't have enough time sometimes to give the chances you want to give. I'm sure if they had more time, Red Bull probably would have given Lawson more time. Like,
yeah,
I'm more
that,
than certain of it. But 2 races, he's getting also, it in P20. He can't get it into the points. They're gonna switch out.
I think also people are also forgetting that they do have, a whole week of practice that they're in this car. They are practicing in this car. They've been sim racing beforehand. They also get 2 days of media prior to testing where they get to drive the car. They get to drive the car and try it, right? Let me remind you, Yuki Tsunoda had nothing in the Red Bull. He had 1 day in the Red Bull, if that.
He did.
At the end of the season.
He did post. Yeah, he did post.
Yeah.
Last year.
Oh, post-season testing. Yeah, he did post-season testing in last year's car. And what has Tsunoda been doing in that car? Again.
Performing.
Yeah, but it's kind of like...
And, like, I would say, it could be seen as embarrassing for Lawson. And, like, we don't ride for Lawson here. We're not very big fans of Lawson. I will still argue, though, that that's one of those cases where it's the car. Because clearly Lawson has been doing better in the V-Carb than he was doing in the Red Bull. And I think it is just because the Red Bull is built for a very specific driving style, and that driving style belongs to, like, Daniel Ricciardo, Max Verstappen, and Yuki Tsunoda, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And I think that's also, like, it's hard to be an adaptable driver. Like, I get it. I think in this case, I think Yuki Tsunoda is an adaptable driver. I think he can feel a car underneath him. I think Max Verstappen, again, is another very adaptable driver. I would argue that Charles is not, really. I don't. I think Charles needs time in the car. I think Charles is one of those people.
Has Haas always been a Ferrari engine?
No.
Or was it just... Is Haas currently a Ferrari engine? No.
Sauber was the junior team. Technically the junior team for Ferrari. It was Alfa Romeo. And then it was Sauber, and then it was Kick and all that jazz. But it was Alfa Romeo when Charles was driving the car in Yeah. But I think the same goes for Nico Hülkenberg. I think Nico's been trying his best.
Adaptable driver.
Yeah, I think Nico Hülkenberg's an adaptable driver. I think
you can put him in anything. I do think you can.
I would argue that most of the... I think Ollie Bierman is another really good example of an adaptable driver, putting him in a Ferrari and scoring points his first F1 race.
That, and then putting him in the Haas during a torrential downpour, and he's still...
Yeah.
He's fucking even able to drive the car. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with, like, how you grew up racing, and, like, in the modern time of, like, racing. Like, I think these F2 drivers and these rookies that are coming in are, like, absolutely batshit crazy.
Isaac Hadjar is doing things in that V-Carb that I think V-Carb could only have ever dreamed of. And this is... I'm a Daniel fan. He should have put him in that car fucking sooner. Like,
yeah.
Get rid of my wife. Put Isaac in that car.
Speaking of which, one last thing from the race. Fernando Alonso and Gabriel Barrichello.
Oh, yeah. Maybe he won't have dinner.
Beefing.
The funniest thing. For those of you who don't know.
So funny.
For those of you who don't know, Fernando Alonso has a lot of drivers under him. He's a manager. And one of them is Gabby Bortoletto. I did it. And they almost had a crash. They briefly made contact, I think, or just barely missed making contact. And Fernando's response to that, to the media, was, maybe he doesn't get dinner. And I think that's the
It was so funny.
thing he could have ever said.
And then he got on, and then, yeah. Oh, what?
No, you go, because I'm moving on. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, Fernando's radio afterwards. Wow! Bow! Bow! That was close.
Yeah.
The old head in the media. Anyways.
Moving on to something that leads to a significantly bigger conversation about this race weekend is we're seeing some FIA rules that were put into place actually being put into place. I am so nosy, and I would love to know what the conversation between Max Verstappen and the FIA president was, but we have photos of them conversing after the race. And then in media, Max refuses to say anything.
Yeah. That was a crazy clip.
If you remember correctly, a while back there were rules passed that essentially were like, say anything bad about us, we'll take championship points away from you, bitch. Crazy. Genuinely insane. So that has since led a lot of people to be like, so like they definitely threatened points from him, right? Like if he said anything bad about this penalty, the 5-second penalty that he had received, which is why Christian Horner was walking around with a printed out picture being like, he was ahead. He was ahead at the apex. He should not have gotten that penalty. And also a lot of people later on, I think it was Lawson, got the same thing happened. They both, either he or they both left track. He gained. It's leaving and gaining is almost always going to be a 10-second penalty. But they gave Max 5 because it was a turn one incident. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were trying to be a little bit lenient with it just because it was the start of the race. It was literally lap 1, turn 1.
And then, obviously, we have the Max radios where GP is like, no comment. Like, don't say anything. Which then leads you to, honestly, like, yes, that's normal from GP, but now with these rules, and with the fact that I'm sorry, I know a lot of people still have it in their heads that Max Verstappen is the little puppet for the FIA and he's who they love, and I will agree with you, for a long time he was. I'm not going to say there was ever a time like that. He never was. They've always hated him. They got what they wanted out of him. They got their championships out of him, they got entertainment out of him, they got what they wanted out of him, and now he's tired. And he's speaking out against them actively. Which, good for him. Slay. Love that, I guess. Except he's not actually speaking out against them. He's just speaking out against stupid penalties he gets.
I saw one of his post-race interviews, like, someone was like, one of the interviews asked him, like, you know, what are your thoughts on that 5-second penalty? And he said, like, we're not going to talk about that because I can't talk about it. We can't talk about anything anymore. And then, like, walked away. And was like, thank you, bye.
It's so, like, I think we are actively watching a transition in, for lack of better terms, their puppet becoming Lando Norris. And I'm obviously not, 2021 was bullshit. Even as a Max fan, I can proudly say 2021 was bullshit. Prior to 2021, you kind of watched the same thing happen, where like Lewis Hamilton is the one that they want, the one that they love, and then Max Verstappen shows up and he starts performing and they're like, oh, this one will give us entertainment, like, let's keep going with this one. And now 2024, Lando Norris shows up and he's gonna be the one to give them entertainment, so they're going, oh, this one, give it to this one, give it to this team. Which is now, the thing is, in 2021 we didn't have rules such as, if you talk shit about us, we will take championship points away from you. And
not
I've seen
even
a
that,
lot
like,
of people,
the amount of money that they have to give for cussing on radio as well.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Like, that is also nothing, like, that has never really been an issue, and now it is an issue. And that's why you should vote Susie Wolf for FIA president next year.
Yes, the that is coming up. But I've seen a lot of people, specifically a lot of people who hate Max, be like, wow, he's such a baby. Like, he's such a baby about this penalty. And it's so interesting, because I do think media literacy is a dying art, a dying study, if you will. Max isn't saying that because he's a big baby who can't handle a penalty. Max is saying that because the overlord of this sport that he loves is ruining it for him, and he hates that. Yeah. And so he is doing I don't think it's an active form of protest.
No. But he's speaking out.
It's a form of protest, because he easily could have just said Max Verstappen of the past would have just said whatever the fuck he wanted to say and moved on from it. But now, he can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are glossing over this fact because of who it is. You know?
Yeah. No, I understand you. I understand what you're saying.
Like, if it was a different driver in this situation, they would be like, yeah, speak out against the man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because it's Max, he's a big whiny baby. Don't get me wrong. I'm the first to admit that Max Verstappen is a big whiny baby.
Not in this instance, though.
Not in this sense, though. But I will be the first to be like, yeah, he was a bit of a whiny baby this weekend.
Yeah.
And, like, I've seen a lot of people being like, wow, it's kind of a dick move to, like, just drink the champagne. But, like, if you think about in the context, if you think about it in the context of he, one, received a bullshit, like, penalty, and then two, had just spoken to the president of the FIA where it was probably threatened to take championship points away from him, and then had to go stand up on that podium and celebrate second place, I, too, would also just drink the champagne if I was standing there.
No, valid. Like, valid of him. Honestly, valid. Anything else that we need to...
I think those were all the really, really big things.
I think we did it all.
I think so. If you love us the way that you should, you can find us in so many places, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Please watch us on YouTube. Please watch us on. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. We're so funny and so cool, and you love us. TikTok. There's one other one. Twitter.
X.
Twitter.
We'll see you next week at some point.
We will actually
it's an off week.
See you next week when we are supposed to. Maybe.
Yeah.
It is an off week.
It's an off week, so. Well, bye, guys.
Lightning McQueen says he loves you. Or something. I don't know. I've been playing with this for 10 minutes now. Love you.
Okay, bye, guys.
Say it back.